Chapter 6. Personal Responsibility. It is not up to anyone else to make me give my best. Hakeem Olajuwon, NBA. Performance Profile, Pat Tillman. Title of profile, Do the Right Thing for Yourself. He was an Arizona Cardinals linebacker with a $3 million contract. He walked away from football and volunteered for military service after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He refused to give interviews and discouraged special attention from the press. He became an elite Army Ranger fighting in Iraq. He was killed in action and awarded the Silver Star and the Purple Heart. His key to success was he followed his own convictions no matter what. He didn't take the easy way, even though no one would have blamed him if he had. He was willing to risk everything for his convictions, beliefs, and personal honor. Backed it up, he walked away from a sure thing, fame and fortune as a pro ball player, for his own beliefs. What's the lesson? Do what you think is right, no matter what anyone else does or tells you. Be your own person, even if it's the hard choice. Your own responsibilities. Being the best in the world on the job comes with some basic responsibilities. They aren't complicated, but they are necessary, and they include the following: being on time every day, showing up for work every day unless you're really, really sick, putting in 8 hours work for 8 hours pay, being clean and sober at work, being highly productive all day, having a good attitude with your team, the contractor, and the project owner, thinking about costs and doing your part to control them, taking pride in quality workmanship, showing respect and tolerance for everybody on the job site, even if you don't like them, following directions from foremen and supervisors, being ethical and honest at all times, practicing safe, smart work habits, being willing to learn, being willing to teach, being loyal to your union, and being loyal to your employer, leading by example, being open to change and improvement, and finally, understanding and supporting teamwork. Those are your personal responsibilities. Pump up your abs. Attitude before skill. Ask any foreman, superintendent, or contractor, would you rather have a guy with awesome skills and a poor attitude, or a guy with poor skills and an awesome attitude? They'll go with attitude every time. Wouldn't you? It's always attitude before skill, and nothing's more important as a building block for your own success. Honesty and integrity. It seems like every day there's some business, political, or religious leader in the news for lying, cheating, or stealing. What leads to a breakdown in basic honesty and integrity in an organization? No one's seeing or believing in the value of being honest. No one being willing to take a stand on values. No one being willing to put aside self-interest and greed to do the right thing. It only takes one person to set that example, in government, a company, a union, or even on a job site. Be that person. Be that example. Do the right thing because you want to, not because you have to. What if it was you? Honesty and integrity. Let's say you're at the pool. Your kid's playing with some squishy toy that you bought for $4. Some other kid picks it up and walks off. Are you going to let him keep it? Of course not. You're going to get it back. It's your kid's squishy toy, and you'll be damned if you're going to let some other kid steal it. Even though it's just $4. It's just plain wrong, right? Well, what about taking off with materials or tools from the job site? Is that okay? It's just some 2x4s, a wrench, saw, nail gun, compressor. Some guys treat the job site like it's their own personal Home Depot. You know who I'm talking about. Call it whatever you want, but it's stealing and it's wrong. Doesn't matter whether it's a $4 squishy or an $800 compressor. You wouldn't look the other way if somebody stole your kid's squishy. You shouldn't tolerate rip-offs on your job either. Setting the pace. Who sets the pace on your job? Besides the foreman, the top guys on the crew usually set the pace. Within 1 hour on any job site, you'll know if the guys are working up to their potential. Here's a piece of advice. Set your own pace and make it challenging and interesting for yourself. You might take a little heat if you're pushing, but remember, time flies when you're flying and it drags when you're dragging. Side job-itis. There's a condition that can seriously impact you if you're not careful. It's called side job-itis. It's highly contagious, especially when work is slow, or when you're on the bottom of the list, or when your kid needs braces. Side job-itis can hurt your fellow union members and union contractors. You should avoid it whenever possible. But if you do catch a case of it, don't ever use your contractor's tools, equipment, or materials anywhere except on his job site. If you do, bad things can happen. Spread the word. You heard it from Dr. Breslin. Job site negativity and gossip. You're going to be spending 20 years on the job site. You'll work with a lot of guys. You'll talk about a lot of things during breaks, lunch, and so on. So what? So this. Some people spend all their time talking about other people on the job. Others want to complain about the boss, their job, the weather, whatever. You name it, they'll think of something negative to say. Don't be that guy. You can decide what's worth talking about. Why does it matter? Because you're part of a team out there on the job site every day. I'm not saying everybody has to like everybody, but if someone's just complaining full time, it can get totally out of control. Negativity always feeds negativity. Take responsibility for being a positive job site force. Make sure you're not dragging a black cloud around behind you. And if you are, I have a secret I want to share with you. Nobody really gives a shit, and most of them aren't listening anyway. Our community image 24/7. Did your mom and dad want you to be a union craft worker? I hope so. I hope you're lucky enough to be a third or fourth generation construction guy like me. But most of you aren't. And most moms and dads these days want their kids to go to college for a different kind of job. Maybe you do too. A lot of it has to do with the images of the construction industry. Some people still have the wrong image of construction workers. The old image of a bunch of dirty, rude, unskilled guys yelling at girls is still going strong. The myth that construction is for people who can't do anything better is still out there too. It's time to change those old ideas, and that's part of our personal responsibility. Here are some things to think about, talk about, and remember. The average union construction worker makes more money than the average computer worker. The average union construction worker has to have strong technical ability to do his job well. The average union construction guy has better benefits than the average big company employee. There are more than 2 million union construction workers and hundreds of training schools teaching them every day of every year. Construction employs more people in North America than most any other industry. Construction workers use high technology equipment like lasers and computer programs. Construction makes people's lives easier and better. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, construction is a true profession. It's up to us to show people that construction is a profession worthy of respect. There are plenty of great kids who'd be awesome in our industry. Why aren't they interested in construction? Part of it is that we carry an old image that's dead and should have been buried a long time ago. Do your part to bury it for good. Be a respectable, responsible professional in every way. Wearing your colors. It's important to keep in mind that you represent your union on and off the job site. Are you flipping people off in traffic with your union pride sticker in the window? Are you wearing your union shirt or jacket to the ball game and getting drunk and becoming a wild man? On the other hand, do you let people know you're a union construction worker when you're volunteering, coaching, or working at your church? Just like every Marine in uniform represents the entire Marine Corps, every union construction worker represents all 2 million of the team. Wear your colors with pride and class. And if you have to act like an idiot, do everyone a favor. Don't advertise that you're a union-affiliated knucklehead.